life, bro. Yeah, tell me the story.
So
Another lion to kill.
Just another lion to kill came from my coach Sergio Pena when he was training it under his coach Osvaldo Alves. As Valdo would just send killer after killer to Sergio on the mats, and the idea was that you pretty much just couldn't back down. You had to find a way to win. And Sergio would say some days he'd pile lions 3 high, some days it'd be 10 or 20 high. And what it always meant to me is that no matter what problem you're facing, if you're worried too much about the next one or the last one, you're not dealing with the situation immediately. And that's the lion that's in your face. It also, he gives the respect enough to anything that's going to be an adversary is a lion. It's not a cockroach, it's not a bug. It's something that, yeah, you're going to have to put your heart into and fight and beat it. So how I've translated it to my life is in the last 4 years dealing with cancer treatment, surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, infections, all this stuff. Every single time it was just another lion to kill. So if it was a surgery, it was just getting ready for the surgery. That was one lion, killed that, move on to the next. Recovery, that's another lion, kill that, move on to the next. Because otherwise it's too damn daunting to think that I have to kill an entire jungle. But Sergio instilled that into me, and that's how I've been able to survive the last 4 years.
Tell me about that. Can you tell me about that? Your visualization.
Yeah.
That you would do.
So when I was doing radiation, you'd lay on the table and it'd take 10-15 minutes, and there are a couple different visualizations that I would do. One is I'd have my eye, always close my eyes, do some deep breathing just to kind of get set, and then I would picture myself stepping on the mat of either the Pyramid in Long Beach or the Sportsplex here in Vegas, where we have most of our regular competitions. And I'd step on the mat, and then across from the mat, the biggest, gnarliest, Fedor mixed with Cyborg on steroids would come onto the mat, and all his gi patches would say cancer, pain, whatever. And I'd tie up with him, and I'd throw him and armbar him, and then take his wrist, and then we'd reset, and then I'd choke him, and every single time it was just me conquering that cancer. Every lion that stepped on the mat, I killed and moved forward, and I didn't care how big the pile was behind me or in front, or the line waiting for in front, because it was just that time. So it also ties into a lot of mindfulness belief that I have, kind of fully immersing yourself in the situation at hand. If you're living in the future, you're living in anxiety. If you're living in the past, you're most likely living in depression. And all you can do is worry about now to create happiness, is what I think. So, yeah, I would picture just, slamming the guy with cancer, on his gi, just over and over, and submitting him and winning. Or another one I would do that's less martial arts, but equally important, is I would picture a fireman with a great big hose of radiation just dosing down the tumor and watching the tumor shrink every day, and just shrink until it was gone. Or capsulating it. There was one that I would do where I'd go into my own mind and pretend like my head was the head of a robot and head of all my control panels and stuff, and I'd find all the cancer and bad and negativity, and I'd shoot it out of my head, not just to get it out of my head, but I'd shoot it out of space and into the through the atmosphere and just away beyond where it would ever come back to me, and send all my negativity and all the bad shit that way. And that's another little technique that helped me get through a lot of acute pain and suffering. But I truly believe, if you can train your mind, you can beat pretty much anything. And one story that I kind of tell, just to keep droning on, is I was laying in bed after a really, really hard double training session, and everything hurt, and I asked myself, why am I doing this? Why do I train? Because I'm not going to be a champion. I don't really compete that much. The competitive drive is not so much there for me. But here I am putting my body through just intense pain and suffering for what? well, 2 weeks later I got diagnosed with cancer, and it's like, that's what the training was for. My fight's not on the mats. My fight's gonna be to live and fight this cancer thing. And I may not be able to wrist lock it, but being wrist locked 1,000 times and getting my ass kicked in the gym, like, cancer's never gonna beat me worse than Sergio's beat me. That I know for a fact. So if I can be in the gym and survive those things, then I can take that with me to other battles. So my answer to why was I training was to live, survive and enjoy it. So those are like the big things that I've taken from the past few years. And then just like the rash guard, that scramble did with OTM and Gawakodo and Mirkatsu. Jiu-jitsu style mag helped too. Like, I wanted people to have something that when they don't want to train anymore and they feel like shit and they're hurting and everything, that's the rash guard you put on. Or that's the sticker that I have, like I gave to a bunch of people, like, stick that where your gear bag is, and that the day you don't want to pick it up, you look at that line and go, oh, just another lion to kill. I feel like crap today, but it's just one day. I'll go and I'll train. So that's like, I believe flooding your environment with positivity and symbols of strength and stuff is really important for the times that you are weak. It's like, when I was strong, it's almost like I could go back in time and the Paul that was strong is going to help the Paul that's weak. Not to get all third person-y, but if I can help myself in the future by doing something now, I'm going to do it, while not living in the future that I'm not attending to now. That's the mindfulness stuff. But yeah, that's my belief. My sister got that great big lion tattoo. It's to remind her every day.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's our mantra at Sergio Pena Jiu-Jitsu. It's just another lion to kill.